Hello, welcome back to Asteroid Chronicles. We are continuing our Linux tutorial. So today we will talk about a Linux system hostname. By default, a Linux system hostname is configured during installation. In a virtualized environment, it may also be automatically assigned when the instance built. However, there are many scenarios where you might need to modify a hostname manually. In this guide, we will go step by step through how to change the hostname in Linux without rebooting the system. So this instruction apply to most modern Linux distributions that use systemd. So what is a hostname? A hostname is a unique identifier given to a device on a network. It allows systems to recognize and communicate with each other. A valid hostname can include letters, numbers, dots, and hyphens. It must not begin or end with hyphen, and each segment separated by dots can contain up to 63 characters. The full hostname FQDN hostname must not exceed 253 characters in total. If your system is publicly accessible, it's best to practice to use fully qualified domain name. This consists both the hostname and the domain name. On Linux systems that use systemd, there are different types of hostname. Static hostname. This is the standard hostname stored in etc hostname file. It is set manually by the administrator and remain unchanged after reboot. Cat etc hostname. And you see our hostname. Next type, transient hostname. A temporary hostname assigned a boot time by the kernel. It usually defaults to the static hostname but can be modified manually. It resets after boot. And the last type, pretty hostname. User-friendly descriptive name like John's laptop. It supports UTF-8 characters and it's mainly used for display purposes. To view all hostname, you can execute hostnamectl command. And you see static hostname, machine ID from here. There are other information: static hostname, icon name, chassis, machine ID, boot ID, virtualization, operating system, kernel, architecture, hardware vendor, hardware model, firmware version, firmware date, and firmware age. Let's clear the screen. Other way to check hostname is just type host name. And you see my machine hostname. You can also check static hostname as I did previously executed command cat etc hostname. Enter. To permanently update the hostname, use hostnamectl command with the set hostname option. This requires root or sudo privileges. Sudo hostname ctl hostnamectl set hostname, and for example my.linux. Enter. These commands update cat etc hostname file and also change to transient hostname immediately. If successful, it doesn't produce any output. If you want to set up a specific hostname type, you can use flag. For example, sudo hostname ctl set hostname my laptop and specify pretty. Enter. After changing the hostname, it's important to update etc hosts file. so the system can properly resolve the new name. So open with nano etc host file, locate the line with the old host name and replace it with the new one. For example, 127.01.1 and for example my Linux. Control X and save. If your system uses only 127.0.0.1, just adjust accordingly. Failing to update this file may result in warnings like unable to resolve host when using commands such as sudo. To confirm hostname has been updated, run hostname ctl command. Enter. And we see static hostname, pretty name, icon name, chassis, machine ID, boot ID, and other information. Let's clear the screen. If you only need to change the hostname for the current session, you can use sudo hostname temp name. Enter. Sorry, I made typo. Host name. This change is not permanent and will revert back after reboot. It's useful for testing or troubleshooting. On minimal systems or containers where systemd is not available, you can modify hostname manually. First, write the new hostname to the file. Echo your Linux sudo t etc hostname. Hostname. Enter. Then apply changes immediately. Sudo hostname minus f minus uppercase f etc hostname. Finally, don't forget to update etc host file as I explained earlier. So that's all for this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit notification bell. Thank you.